Hi everyone, my name is Luciano and I will present this paper combining clustering and maturity models to provide better decisions to elevate maturity level. My name is Luciano Azevedo de Souza. We organized this paper together with Mary de Paula, that's under my supervision and in a specialization course of public administration, and Elder Gomes Costas, who is my doctoral supervisor. We are from Escola de Engenharia da Universidade Federal Fluminense, UF, in Niterói, Rio de Janeiro, Brasil. And Mary is from Escola de Governo, Fundação CEPERJ, Rio de Janeiro, Brasil. We choose the MMGP, called in Brazil Prado Modelo de Maturidade, because this is based on departmental diagnosis in which we can have different levels of maturity in the same organization. And our objective was to treat individually each department and to get this diagnosis to address the actions according to the different levels of maturity and different needs. Our paper is organized as in these figures, starting by the choice of the maturity model. Then we constructed the data collection instrument in Google Forms, and then after that we applied the interview one by one, in total 27 attendees in the organization in different departments. After that, we treated the data to make the first analysis, a general statistical analysis, and so to applying the cluster analysis, the k-means method. So we were able to make the comparison between clusters, and after that between the kind of department that we analyzed. We made the simulation to define the new goals to increase the maturity of project management in the organization, and to address the actions to achieve such a goals. After that, we discussed the results. As I said before, the data was collected directly by Mary. So one by one, she collected the impressions, collected the best response for each question in the maturity model, and insert in the Google Forms. We processed using the Likert package to ordinate for each level 2 of maturity, where when the project management is considered null, in the level 3, when the project management is considered standardized, level 4 managed, and level 5 optimized. So we can identify what is the questions that receive the worst evaluation. In those questions, we can intensify the actions. Applying the k-means, the first stage is to identify the number of clusters. And we used the elbow method, the gap stat, and the silhouette. The three methods that are the most used in such analysis indicate a different number. We have here elbow and silhouette indicating 2, but the gap stat was suggesting only one group. After that, we analyzed the visual sharing of the data, and we decided to use 2 as the number of clusters. We can observe that the data are in a good sharing, in which the components of each groups are near to the centroid, are concentrated in the centroid, and there is a space between most of the data, most of the points, most of the observation, and the number of observation by cluster are equilibrated, are balanced. 14 observation in cluster 1 and 13 in cluster 2. So we had the package Likert again to compare the response by cluster, and we can observe important difference between cluster 2 and cluster 1. We can see that in cluster 1 the response are more positive, so it's more near to the standard condition expected by the question in the maturity model. On the other hand, the cluster 2 was with worse results. We can see in level 2, in level 3. Also, we can see in level 4 and in level 5. We observed that in cluster 1 was, especially in cluster 2, in which we had the worst results, it was more respondents that participate in support areas, and the core business guys was in cluster 1. So we decided to analyze the data again, comparing core business and support area, and we can observe that there was an important difference also between this segmentation. In all levels. In the end, we take the data, the literature that analyze the final maturity evaluation. This index was calculated by inputting the centroid of each cluster as a single response in the site maturity model that use this MGP maturity model, and we got for cluster 1 3.24 that is considered a good maturity. In cluster 2, we considered we searched the centroid's answers, and we got 1.88. Considering all the respondents, we use the average to indicate the response, and we got 2.36. that is also considered weak. The parameter is lower than 1.8 is considered very weak. From 1.8 to 2.9, weak. From 2.9 to 3.2, regular. From 3.2 to 4, good. And above 4 is considered great. So we was able to to identify that most of the core business respondents are in cluster 1 and most of the respondents for support areas in cluster 2. We decided to apply the segmentation of the answers in comparing both, and it was possible to analyze the clusters and to define the different maturity for each cluster and the general maturity, and to address, to designate a new goals. If we consider that we can increase this lower number to achieve the same performance standard that in cluster 1. In this case, we would be able to elevate the maturity of the company. So we set this benchmark to make the improvement comparing to the internal availability of resource and the management itself. And in general, we can achieve, for example, 4 as a general if we apply the actions for the cluster 1 and increase also the maturity addressing actions to the gaps identified. So thank you very much for your attention.